So it's 6 steps. That is what we're going to be using when you get the monthly reports every month. I'm in the process of making a more expansive guide with like screenshots and all of that. I have not gotten to that yet, but this is sort of something that's intended to be able to like print out and maybe keep next to your computer as you go through it. But these are just sort of the steps that we're going to be using as you do the review process. Okay, so let's see how to start here. Okay, so basically, first things first, this is an example log that we're going to be using with the data just for the case of today. Everybody's log is going to look a little different, but for the sake of this exercise, we'll be using this one. One slight modification that we have to the process is that in order to make the lives easier for the program administrators, what we're going to be doing is they're going to be sending us reports, and then our responsibility is we're going to copy and paste the data into a master report that we keep on our own computers that we don't give to them. Because the issue that we've had with the program administrators in the past is that if they make little mistakes here and there and we make corrections on them and then send them that log with the corrections, they tend to not save and start using that new log. Instead, they just keep using the old log, and it makes the mentors need to make the same corrections month after month. So in order to sort of do a workaround from that, the mentors are going to have a copy on their computer where if you make any corrections and whatnot, that will be live and have all the updates. And then it gives a little bit more flexibility to the program administrators. If they don't do something exactly perfect, if they rename a document, if they do something that doesn't quite work with the data, it's okay, because we have this sort of filter level between the program administrators and the database to help that out. So here is the log that I have as my master on my computer. And then here is the daily log that I received from the program administrator from this most recent month. So this has some new data. As you can see here, why won't this go away? There we go. My log goes up to only row 294, which is with Luz Marina Montoya. This is based on a Colombian log, so it's going to be a lot of sort of Latin sounding names. And here you'll see that there's 294. This is the same Luz Marina Montoya, but then they have all these other entries that came over. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to copy the data from the log that we just got, which is these cells right here. We're going to copy them, and then we're going to paste them into our log.
Did you paste special, or is that just Control C, Control V?
Sorry, good point. I did paste special, paste values, which helps with, I tend, when I'm using just Excel formulas, to use that because it's a little bit more, it's less likely to screw up formatting and formulas. But I think either way would work. But paste values would be a better method. Okay, and then the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the borrower list and see if there's any new borrowers from the last time. And here I only went up to 81 on mine, but here there's 82, 83, so it looks like there's 2 new borrowers. So I'm also gonna copy and paste those 2 over into my log. And then now we're done with the import log. You can close. You can forget about the one that you got from your program administrator. We're going to be doing all of the manipulation and any of the updates. We're going to be doing that just on our master version on our computer.
Wait, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
I thought, so like, let's say you said you copied and pasted first the values into your master Excel, but I thought the system won't let you add names if it's not on the borrower list. And if there are two new people that you're copying and pasting in, their names aren't on the borrower list, wouldn't there be an error in the master list on Excel?
Yeah, so good question.
So so in column B, that little data validation where you have the drop down list, that doesn't like exclude you from putting in a new name. It's only like you can use the drop down, and the only names that appear are the ones that are in the borrower list. But if you did see when Zach pasted all the data into here, the column A, there were like 2 or 3 extra NAs. And those were corrected when he added in the 2 extra borrowers.
And
Got it.
one quick thing to add on to that, and that is that it brings up a good point, but this is going to come up a couple times, but there is data validation here, but for whatever reason, Excel data validation doesn't prevent you from copying and pasting. You can copy and paste stuff that would break the data validation, and it doesn't really give any issues. But like, for example, now if I were to type in my name, Zach, as a new borrower, it is going to say that it doesn't work that's restricted by the data validation. But when you copy and paste, it's like a workaround. I'm not sure exactly why, but for whatever reason, you can paste. Sometimes you can paste things that don't follow the validation. So we'll see that as an issue that comes up a couple times as we go through the handful of like checklist items. But that's a really good point, Elise. Okay.
One other quick question related to this. You copied just columns B to G, right?
Correct. So columns B to G, those are the ones that are not formula. If you see, if I go into H, I, those are the ones that are going to be protected via, the protection, the protect worksheet that we did before. You won't be able to paste over those, but the columns that do have data that are just entry are from B to G. A is the same thing. A is a formula as well. So we're just going to focus on B to G. That's sort of like where the data entry is going to be happening. Everything else is sort of calculated for you. Okay. Any other questions on this step before we start going through some of the issues with the data entry that we have here?
I do think that J and K are also columns that could be copied and pasted from the program administrator's log too.
Correct. Good point, Kurt. Sorry. So those are the columns. This is flags a closed loan, which one thing that this is a good time to point is one of the additions that Kurt and I have made to the log is this loan balance column. And basically that calculates the loan balance for every loan ID. And when you see it as green and as a negative number, that means that the loan has been paid off. So it means that's a good indicator that you should add an X to that row to mark it as closed. So that's just like another little enhancement that we made to help it make it a little bit easier on the mentors and the program administrators.